When does a person truly die? Is it when their heart stops? Or is it when the people who love them throw the last shovel of dirt onto their grave? No. Real death happens the moment you discover the betrayal of the person you trusted the most. In that moment, something inside you dies and it never comes back to life. My husband David died exactly 184 days ago. Officially, I never saw his body. The sea is greedy. They said it never returns its prey. I buried an empty coffin. I placed the most expensive marble stone on his grave. I engraved the words, "We will love you forever." Every morning, I woke up, saw the empty side of the bed, and died all over again. When the debt collectors came knocking, when they took my house, when they towed my car, I endured it all. I thought losing David was the worst pain imaginable, but I was wrong. They say dead men tell no tales. That is a lie. In our world, the dead speak. They whisper through Wi-Fi. They scream through the cloud. This morning, at 9:15 a.m., I saw a strange notification on my phone. It was from David's old cloud account. He always wore his Apple Watch Ultra. He used to laugh and say, "This watch controls my life." He was right. It controlled his life, and it exposed his death. The notification read, "Alert, new record. David just ran 5 kilometers in 25 minutes. Average heart rate, 145 BPM. I almost dropped my phone. Corpses in the cemetery don't run. Skeletons don't have a heartbeat. With trembling fingers, I opened the Find My Device app. The map loaded. A green dot appeared. It wasn't in the local cemetery. It was on the other side of the ocean, blinking on a private island in the Maldives. In that second, my morning ended. My tears dried up. Hate, cold and sharp, took their place. David isn't dead. He just died to get rid of us. So, David, you like running? Then run, because I am coming for you. It all started 6 months ago, on our 5th wedding anniversary. We were happy, or so I thought. David was a businessman. He always promised, "I'm working on something big, Sarah. We'll be rich soon." For our anniversary, he rented a small private yacht. Just the two of us. Open sea. I remember every second of that day. The air was crisp. The sun was shining. David gave me an expensive ring. Later, I found out it was fake cubic zirconia. "Sarah, you are my everything. Without you, this world is hell to me," he said, looking deep into my eyes. What an actor. He deserved an Oscar. Towards the evening, he made me a cocktail. "My special recipe." He smiled. I drank it. It tasted bitter. "Are you feeling dizzy?" he asked a moment later. His voice had changed. The kindness was gone, replaced by cold curiosity. "A little," I whispered, and then everything went black. The last thing I remember was David leaning over me and the glint of that massive watch on his wrist. I woke up in a coastal hospital. Doctors and police were everywhere. "Ma'am, the yacht's engine exploded," the officer said. "We found you floating in a life vest. But your husband, we couldn't find him. He likely went down with the ship." The weeks that followed were a fog. The funeral came and went. But the real explosion happened afterward. Letters from the bank started arriving. First one, then 10. David had mortgaged everything. Our house, my car, our future. The debts were in the millions. I hired a lawyer. "Don't worry," he said. "He must have life insurance." Yes, he did. A $2 million policy signed exactly 30 days before his death. But there was a catch. The beneficiary wasn't me. It was an offshore company called Phoenix Solutions. Phoenix, the bird that rises from the ashes. What an ironic name. I was left on the street, homeless, penniless. I cried every night looking at his photo, asking, "Why did you leave me?" I thought I was the victim of a tragedy. But I was actually the victim of a heist. The day that notification arrived, I didn't believe my eyes at first. Maybe someone stole his watch? But a heart rate of 145? That is the heart of a living man. I started digging through David's old things. I had kept his old, cracked iPad. I plugged it in. It asked for a passcode. I knew all his passwords. Moneymaker 1990. It unlocked. The iPad automatically connected to Wi-Fi. And then, a small icon appeared at the top. iCloud, syncing. My hands started to sweat. If his watch is active, and it's connected to this account, then the new photos from his phone should sync here too. I opened the Photos app. "Please load," I whispered. And suddenly, a new photo appeared. Date. Today. A landscape of the ocean, white sand, blue water. Next photo, 2 cocktails on a table. And the third photo, I screamed when I saw it. It was a selfie. David. He had grown a beard. He had dyed his hair blonde. He was wearing expensive sunglasses. But it was him. That arrogant smile, the mole on his neck, and the worst part behind him, lying on a lounge chair, was a young, beautiful woman. She was smiling at the camera, and on her finger was a real diamond ring, 10 times bigger than the fake one he gave me. I zoomed in. The geolocation tag was on. Maldives, Ba Atoll, Royal Paradise Private Resort. A villa that costs $3,000 a night. I am struggling to buy bread, and he is enjoying paradise on my insurance money. David didn't just run away. He planned everything. He drowned me in debt, faked his death, and started a new life with a new passport and a new wife. I could have gone to the police, but bureaucracy takes months. He would disappear again. No, this time I will take fate into my own hands. I sold the last gold earring my mother left me. I borrowed money from friends. And I bought a one-way ticket to the Maldives. When I arrived on the island, the mourning widow was dead. A cold-blooded hunter was born. I stayed in the cheapest room, but I spent all day watching them. David, now calling himself Alexander, and his mistress Lola, were the stars of the island. I watched them from the bushes, from dark corners of restaurants. I needed to hear them. I bribed a waiter to seat me closer to their table one evening. David was holding Lola's hand. "Darling, tomorrow is our wedding. It will be the happiest day of my life. No past, just you and me." Lola asked, "Alex, but what about your previous wife? Won't she look for you?" David's answer burned through my soul. He laughed. "Sarah? Oh, don't worry. She is a very simple, even stupid woman. She is probably busy drowning in debt right now. I destroyed all the traces. She believes I'm dead, because she wants to believe it." A simple woman. A stupid woman. Those words sealed his fate. I didn't just want to call the police. I wanted to turn his happiest day into hell. I wanted to shatter his new life, his new reputation, and his Alexander mask in front of everyone. The next day was the wedding. A white tent on the beach. Music. Flowers. I dressed as one of the staff, wearing a mask. David's tablet, used for the wedding music, was near the DJ booth. I waited for my moment. When the DJ stepped out for a smoke, I approached the console. I inserted my USB drive. The file on it was simple, but it was more powerful than a nuclear bomb. The ceremony began. The officiant asked, "Do you, Alexander Volkov, take Lola to be your lawful wedded wife?" David answered loudly, confidently, "Yes, I do." Lola cried tears of joy. "I do." The guests applauded. Champagne popped. David took the microphone. "Friends, today I am reborn. The past is behind me. Only light is ahead." At that exact moment, I pressed play on the console. The music stopped. The lights went out. Only the giant screen lit up. A video from 6 months ago began to play. It was the video from the yacht. David's voice echoed. "Sarah, you are my everything. Without you, I am nothing." The guests started whispering. Lola looked at the screen, confused. Then the scene changed. A split screen appeared. The police death certificate on one side, and David's selfie from yesterday on the other. The text underneath read, "Dead men don't take selfies." David dropped his glass. His face turned white as a sheet. He couldn't speak. Next slide, the insurance documents, and his text to his mistress. "I need to get rid of my wife. If she dies, we get $2 million. I broke the silence in the room. I took a microphone and stepped out from the crowd. I took off my staff cap. I removed my sunglasses. "Happy wedding, darling." David looked at me with pure terror in his eyes, like he was seeing a ghost. "Sarah? What are you doing here?" I walked up to the stage. Lola backed away in fear. "What am I doing? I came to check your heart rate, David," I said coldly. "Check your watch. It must be beating at 145 right now." David looked at Lola. "Lola, I can explain. This woman is crazy." "Crazy?" I laughed. "Maybe. I was crazy for loving you. But I'm cured now." I held up my phone. "I am streaming this wedding live, David. The insurance company, the banks, and Interpol. They are all watching you right now." Sirens from police boats wailed in the distance. David tried to run. He sprinted toward the beach. But running in sand is hard, especially in expensive Italian shoes. I yelled after him, "Run, David! Don't let your workout go to waste!" The police tackled him into the sand. Seeing his face covered in dirt, his torn suit, and the handcuffs, it was the most beautiful view I had ever seen. I walked up to him as they dragged him away. He begged me, "Sarah, please, we can make a deal. I have money. I'll give it to you." I looked at the Apple Watch on his wrist. The green light was still blinking. I unclasped it. "You won't need this anymore, darling. Time moves very slowly in prison." I threw the watch into the ocean. David was extradited. He was sentenced to 15 years for fraud, faking his death, and embezzlement. The insurance company froze all his offshore accounts and gave me a large reward for exposing the fraud. I got my house back. My debts were cleared, but I couldn't live in that house anymore. Too many memories. I sold it. Now, I live in a small town by the sea. I run every morning, but I don't wear a watch. I don't need a screen to tell me how my heart is beating. I am alive. I am free. And most importantly, I don't trust anyone blindly anymore. This is twisted trust. The lesson is this: technology is a double-edged sword. It can save your life, or it can expose your secrets. If your husband suddenly starts working out but never takes off his watch, be careful. He might not be running for his health. He might be running from you. Stay watching.